about how great.
Hey, y'all, what's up?
I can't say anything about it.
Happy Friday. Told you guys I didn't have to go to work today, so I would come back. I was going to try to come back last night, and then I decided I'll just do it in the morning. So I did do episode 3 of Reasonable Doubt. That will premiere tomorrow morning. And we get ready to do Miami episode 3 and 4. The panel, whether you like it or not, Miami edition panel is going to wrap it up next week. Am I on the review channel? Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. It's the review channel, right? It's weird. It doesn't do it on the main channel. It's so weird. I don't know if it's based on subscriber or what. But Don said it's some beta thing that YouTube is testing out because some bigger channels is happening. So it's just random. It's just random. All right. Yeah. Okay. I used the reason why I'm doing that is because I used a honey stick in that instead of. I'm trying to go back to a lot of the stuff I used to do. I didn't used to use sugar in my tea. I used to use honey in my tea, or I would drink it without anything. And so I had started putting sugar in my tea again. And so now I'm trying to go back to doing honey or just not doing anything at all. And you just got to get used to it. When you cut out sugar, when you stop using a lot of sugar, you can't even consume it. You know what I mean? When you stop, like everything tastes too sweet. And I want to get back. I want to get back to that point where everything tastes too sweet. But anyway, now I don't want to put no whiskey in this because I'm going to be out. But it's not as sweet as I've been having it, but it's a good thing. So anyway, moving right along, let's get into this. So this is the Real Housewives of Miami. This is the reunion part 2 and part 3. I decided to just go ahead and combine the two because let me say this. This is just going to be a rant. I'm going to kind of be all over the place, but there it is. Y'all got me hooked on Reasonable Doubt. It's so good, Cheryl. Isn't it good? It is so good. Yeah, Chuck. I don't have a cold, but it's like I've been waking up in the mornings congested. So I'm a little congested right now. But after I kind of get it all out my system, I'm okay. So part 2 of the reunion was basically the Adriana Julia show. 90% of what we saw in part 2 was the Adriana Julia situation. So let me just give that whole synopsis and break it down, right? So Julia let everybody know that her and Adriana had slept together. Adriana, her story kept changing. Because at first she was like, no, we didn't do anything. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And see, Adriana was playing word games because she was like, I don't like that. I don't like that. She basically was saying, I guess she was saying, I don't like lesbian sex. And she was like, Stephanie said something about, well, you know scissoring. Because she was like, I don't even know how that happens, basically. And Stephanie was like, well, you know scissoring. So then Adriana kept hanging on to, I don't scissor. We never scissored. But there are so many other ways to be intimate with somebody. And that's what Julia was saying. But then the more Adriana talked, the more she basically let us know that Julia was telling the truth. First, she was like, well, we just kissed, but that was it. Then she said, well, we petted, which that could be opened up to interpretation. But then she said, yeah, well, she touched me, but I didn't touch her. Then she said, like, she kept changing the story. But I think at the end of the day, I think most people will walk away with the impression they slept together. I think that's kind of where we can all agree they slept together. And it was inappropriate for a married woman. Like, can we just agree that whatever they did, Julia shouldn't have been doing it as a married woman? Well, Julia, here is an example of if you gonna tell it all. Because, baby, Adriana told it all. Adriana said, okay, cool. If we're going to do it, let's do it. And she proceeded to empty the clip on Julia. Baby, she said Julia has had multiple affairs. She said Julia was sleeping with a mortician. Julia slept with the pool boy, the dog catcher, the person who bring the live feed food for the animals down to the farm. She slept with the bartender down at the restaurant. She slept with a masseuse down to the spa. Like, Julia emptied the clip. Okay? Told it all. Told it all. And then let us know that Martina has left Julia before because of Julia's affairs. The look on Julia's face said, that didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. Like, Julia sat on that couch and was like, really, Adriana? Really, Adriana? Well, what you mean, really? You brought it up. You brought it up. You opened up that door, girl. What you mean? Really, Adriana? Baby, if you're gonna open up the door, you better clean out that whole closet. Adriana said, "Oh, okay, cool. I've been holding all your secrets, but here go this, here go this, here go this, here go this. Now what?" Now, word on the curb is, rumor has it that Martina about to divorce Julia. Because even though Julia said she told Martina, first of all, I feel like she only told Martina before the reunion because she knew she was going to drop that piece of tea. Okay? I really feel like the only reason why she told Julia is because, she told Martina. Because my thing is, why you ain't tell it when it happened? Stupid camera. And it even came up because I really believe that Martina was at that first reunion because I feel like Andy asked her about Julia and her flirting. I honestly feel like Martina was there, but I could be wrong. But I feel like maybe it was on a Watch What Happens Live or something. But I remember Andy asking Martina, this damn camera. I remember Andy asking Martina about the flirting, and Martina was like, "Oh, Julia likes to flirt." Like it wasn't a big deal. Damn it. Stupid camera. I guess. So, all right. So, then I'm trying to, because this went back and forth, child. Lord, this thing went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Here is where, Miami, you have a problem. Miami, we have a problem. Miami has the same problem that Potomac had 2 years ago, that Atlanta had 2 years ago, that New Jersey is dealing with right now. And if production doesn't figure out a way to fix it, Miami is going to go down the same path that Atlanta and Potomac went down, where they're going to have a season that is miserable, that nobody is going to enjoy, and then Bravo is going to have to make some serious conversations about personnel. By the end of this reunion, this is where I'm about to start kind of just go all over the place, because after we got past the Julia, Adriana of it all, who cares about the rest of it? But I'll talk about with my notes. It was so clear that this cast is so divided that when you get to the point where you're so divided as a cast that one side, literally they're sitting on opposite sides of the couch, right? And it is so obvious that one side of the couch is just going to disagree with the other side of the couch no matter what they say. They could say, Andy is our boss. And somebody on the other side is going to say, well, not really. It's really NBC Universal. Like, no, like they can't just concede that black is black and white is white. And it is not fun to watch, because when you get to a point where no matter what anybody says, you can't agree. And you can't just be like, well, this person was wrong. Even though I'm cool with them, even though I like them, they were wrong this time. Or like and it was on both sides. Gertie kept doing it to Adriana and Lisa. Lisa did it when it was Gertie. And on the other side, they did it. Alexia, Marisol, Kiki, Larsa. And it was it really was, by the end of the reunion, it was not fun to watch. I really feel like Stephanie's the only one that somewhat was giving it to everybody. Like, if she agreed, she agreed. If she disagreed, she disagreed. But by the end of part 3, I was like, Houston, we have a problem. Miami's going to have to figure this out. I don't know if that means you got to get rid of people, bring people back. I don't know what it is that y'all are going to have to do, but this was a problem. The other thing that I did not like about this reunion, it was way too edited. Now, I don't know if it was edited. I mean, they always have to edit it for time because we know that the reunions last 10 hours. So we know they always have to edit things out for time. But you can edit something and still keep the integrity of a conversation. We already talked about in part 1 that allegedly it was edited and it made Gertie look like she didn't fight. It made Gertie look like she just gave up. When we find out, allegedly, according to Sergio, was it Sergio? Y'all know what I'm talking about. According to him, allegedly Gertie did fight. And what we saw was at the end where Gertie was like, I'm tired. Like, it doesn't matter what I say. They're not going to listen. They're not going to, and it was disingenuous to the conversation because us as fans have been waiting for that moment. Us as fans have been waiting to see the Gertie Julia breakdown with all of the information that has come out since the season aired. Like, we were waiting for that, and y'all cheated us out of that by not giving us that edit. I mean, by not giving us that conversation. You can edit a conversation down, but it seemed like you took the juice out, you took the meat and potatoes out, and it made it look like Gertie just did not fight. And that's just not fair to Gertie, and it's not fair to us as viewers who were waiting for the fight, right? And again, y'all know I don't mean a physical fight. I mean the back and forth, the conversation. Let me just go through my notes that I have for episode 3, because like I said, the last part of episode 2 was, I don't know, but I'm gonna just go through my notes because I don't have a lot. And Andy isn't feeling Gertie at all, or that side of the couch, really. That could be true, Quake, and that may be why the edit was what it was. So we have Larsa and Lisa. Now let me be honest. It was clear that Lisa's whole goal was to clear Jody's name. It was clear to me that in my mind, I feel like Jody gave her an ultimatum. I feel like Jody was like, you need to clear my name or this relationship ain't gonna last. And she kept saying it. She kept saying, you need to apologize to Jody. You need to let people know that Jody, that, the whole AC thing and his eyes, and you did this and you did that. And Larsa, you need to apologize. And Larsa. And she even broke down at one point and was like, listen, me and Jody have literally almost broken up over this. And you could tell that she was very, emotional about it. And she kept saying, we almost broke up. Our relationship was in trouble. And it was clear to me that her goal was to get that conversation from Larsa. To Larsa's credit, I think this is the first time that we got a succinct point of view from Larsa's point of view on this whole situation with Marcus. Because I think most of us were like, girl, who cares? Like, who cares if she's still following Marcus? And I know a lot of that is an age thing, because like, it's just not that serious for me. Like, I don't know who follows me, and I don't care. And I'm probably still following people on social media that maybe I probably should unfollow. But the amount of energy, listen, I haven't even posted my pictures from this last weekend yet, because I haven't sat down long enough on Instagram to upload the damn pictures and put a caption and some hashtags. And it's not because I didn't have a good time. It's not because I don't have a million pictures in my phone from this weekend. I just haven't taken the time to do it. If I haven't taken the time to post something that I want to post, that I want people to see, that I want to share with the world, I know y'all don't think I had the energy to be going through thinking, oh, wait a minute, so-and-so offended me 3 months ago. I forgot to unfollow them. Let me go do it. But I understand that that's also an age thing, because I know that there are some people like the Tamars of the world. she will follow, and unfollow somebody 5 times in one day because that's the way that she lets people know she's angry. That's just not how I operate. So for me, I was like, what is the big fucking deal with the whole Marcus thing? Who cares? But this is the first time that we saw, and now that I have to question editing, I have to question editing. This is the first time that we saw Larsa truly articulate why she was upset. And what Larsa, because she ended up going backstage and talking to Lisa and talking to Jody, and she eventually, now she didn't lead with the apology, but she did eventually apologize. But what she said was, she said, first of all, I was hurt, Lisa, because I have been through a lot of things with you. We have been friends for a very long time, and I have always been there for you when you were going through stuff. But when I was going through this, you weren't there for me. I called you. You didn't answer the phone. You didn't call me back. You didn't return my phone calls. And I was going through a lot. She was like, what was public, but there was also a lot of private stuff that was happening as it related to Marcus. And I mean, literally, I had my family came in and stayed with me because of how bad things got. Him threatening me online, him like, she was like, and then this was the first person that I had brought around to my children post-divorce, and my kids were involved and my kids were upset. And Larsa actually started crying, which we don't get that a lot from Larsa. We don't get that level of emotion a lot. And so when you start hearing that perspective, that still doesn't mean that I agree with everything Larsa does and says. But I do say, okay, now I kind of understand why Larsa was so upset, because it was like this. She said, it's not just any breakup. This man was threatening me. This man was threatening my family. This man, like, I was afraid to sleep by myself in my home. Like, that is like, there was some real shit going on. And when I called you, you didn't respond. You didn't answer. So I felt like, had we gotten that conversation from Larsa in the beginning, I feel like maybe there would have been a little bit more sympathy towards Larsa and why she was so adamant. It still wasn't a big deal. I mean, at the end of the day, who cares? But I understand why she was like, you're my friend. This man is literally torturing me and making my life hell. And at the very least, you could just let the world know that you're not cool with it. But anyway, she did eventually apologize to Jody, but again, y'all know how I feel about apologies that have a butt to it. Girl, if you were going to apologize, just apologize. But she did apologize, and Jody was like, and I haven't even seen Marcus in over a year. Jody, don't do that. You can't play the timeline game with people who watch reality TV. For you to say I haven't seen Marcus in over a year, this shit filmed a year ago. By the time they film it, they show it, and they put the reunion on, baby, this thing happened a year ago, okay? So don't sit here, don't play the timeline game with us, Jody, for you to be like, I haven't even seen Marcus in over a year. This shit was filmed Christmas of last year. It is almost Christmas again. The season finale was a Christmas party, which means they started filming in like October, maybe even earlier, maybe September. So don't play word games with us, Jody. Just take the apology and let it go. Because now you playing with my intelligence. Because that means that you were hanging out with Marcus when they were filming. See how you talk too much? See? You should have just let that go. You should just let it stay there. The apology was fake. Production sent her in there to keep her position. I do think the apology was fake. I think her conversation with Lisa was real though. But I do think the apology was fake because, again, if you didn't lead with the apology. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't lead with that. If that was your reason for going back there, you had a whole conversation with Lisa explaining your position before you apologized. But again, I feel like the apology, but I feel like her conversation with Lisa was real. You know what I mean? And I think Miss Cat, I think that was other problem too, is a lot of people didn't take the relationship with Marcus seriously, but they were in a real relationship, But anyway, it is what it is, child. Now, then we get into Lisa's father. This is where, again, I have an issue with the editing because I honestly feel like more was said that we didn't see as it relates to Lisa and her relationship with her father and her feeling like the women were not there for her. And Kiki, you really pissed me off when you mumbled under your breath. So we're comparing grief now. Lisa was bringing up a point to say, listen, I did these things when you guys lost a family member, when you guys went through something. I was there for you. And when I needed y'all to be there for me, not only were y'all not there for me, y'all even questioned my grief because me and my father were estranged, or we weren't as close as maybe you guys have been with y'all family members. And this is where that whole thing got chopped and screwed. You could tell by Lisa's, her affect, the tone of her voice. You could tell that a lot of that was edited down. And it was pissing me off because even at the end, when Lisa, said her piece, and then she was she was talking about, Alexia, I did this, and that, and this is how I felt, and I felt like you weren't there for me. And Alexia was like, well, that's how I felt too. I felt that way too. And I'm like, what did we miss? Because what are you feeling, Alexia? Because we didn't hear you say anything when she was talking about what she did for you with your mom, when your mom passed away, this, that, and the other. I don't remember. I don't know what Alexia said. And again, Alexia, what do you mean that's how I felt too? What are you talking about? I wasn't clear. But I feel like there was editing in that. I feel like we didn't hear all of Lisa and all of that conversation back and forth about Lisa and her dad and the grief. I don't know. I lost something in that. And I don't think, and I feel like that was messed up that we lost something in that, because I think that took away from what the point Lisa was trying to make. I think Larsa and Alexia got chewed up and they cut it out. Well, I definitely feel like, listen, Lisa came ready. I'm going to say that. Lisa showed up ready. Okay? Because she was very clear on how she felt with everything that went on with her dad. She was, and to be clear, I didn't see them do anything for Lisa as it related to her father. I mean, clearly we know that they all couldn't fly to Canada for the funeral, but I didn't see y'all do anything for Lisa. And if y'all did, they edited it out. So, moving right along. Then Andy asked this random question, which again, I was like, Andy, what the fuck are you talking about? He was like, Lisa, how long have you been living in Miami? And Lisa was like, 12 years, whatever, however long. He was like, and you don't speak any Spanish? Is that a prerequisite to live in Miami that you got to speak Spanish? And I understand that there's a large Latino population. I get it. Please don't nobody say, well, there's a lot. I get it. I've been to Miami. I know. But is that a prerequisite? She got to learn Spanish? It just seemed like a random, and again, either it was edited or it was just random as fuck. Because, like, were they having a conversation about who speaks other languages and how many languages do you speak? And Lisa said, I don't speak anything other than English. And then, like, if that had happened and then Andy said, girl, how long you been living in Miami? And you ain't picked up no Spanish? But it just seemed so random for Andy to be like, so how long have you been living in Miami? And you don't speak any Spanish? I was like, that was random as fuck. And I don't understand where it came from. And I put it in my notes because I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, where are you going with this, Andy? What is this supposed to mean? Like, I didn't get it. I still don't get it. Yeah. That's when I reconciled in my mind that he just does not care for any of those ladies on the side. Right, Quake. It was just so weird. It was like, what the? Like, it's like you don't have nothing else to talk about. So then we got on Kiki and Adriana and the age thing. Let me tell you something. I didn't care about none of this. And let me tell you why I didn't care about none of this. Adriana, you can dish it, but you can't take it. You cried about people in your age, yet whenever you want to dig at Marisol, that's the first thing you do is talk about Marisol's age. And like Marisol said, girl, you had a whole rant about my age. And Adriana was like, because I was trying to be mean. I was trying to dig at you. I did it to dig at you. Oh, got it. So it's okay for Marisol. I mean, it's okay for you to pick at Marisol about her age when she's trying to dig at you. I mean, when you trying to dig at her, but Kiki can't do the same thing to you when she's trying to dig at you. Because Kiki, you can miss me with the I didn't mean it that way. Yes, you did. And I'm glad you finally admitted it on the reunion that you were still feeling some kind of way about the ratchet thing and you was getting your get back. Because you were getting your get back. And it's okay to get your get back. It's all right to get your get back. But Adriana, you can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways, girl. You can't dig at somebody for something you think they're insecure about. And then when somebody does it to you, they're horrible people and you crying. And this is another reason why I said, oh, this couch is truly divided. Because the way Gertie was hugging Adriana, like them people, you would think them people talked about Adriana's kids or something. The way Gertie was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Girl, I see Gertie, see, this the shit I'm talking about. Adriana ain't need all of that. She upset about getting old. The fuck, the alternative is that you dead. We all gonna get old. Listen, you got two choices. Get old or die. That's it. That's all. And the fact that, now had Adriana not used age as a dig, I might have had a little bit, just a smidgen more sympathy, but I have no sympathy for you when you feel like you're going to use it as a dig on somebody else. But when it come back around to you now, all of a sudden, Kiki's a horrible person. Fuck that. Now, what I will say is, Marisol, go sit down somewhere, talk about something. I'm going to have surgery on my knees because I feel so insecure. I wore pantyhose the rest of the season because all of my dresses are so short. I'm so insecure now. I'm going to have surgery. Girl, you're going to have surgery because you want to have surgery. First of all, who the fuck even knows that you can have surgery on your knees? I'm sorry, what? So if you want to go have surgery on your knees, girl, go have surgery on your knees. Ain't nobody worried about you with them damn knees. But then they brought up the whole wretched thing. Listen. Kiki said, girl, I don't believe you racist, but I did have to question the fact that you have never used that word to describe any of these other ladies, just me. You mean she never used that word to describe any of the non-black women, just you? Okay. Now, I'm not saying that Adriana is racist, but it was a very prejudiced statement. And there is a difference between someone being racist and someone being prejudiced. But it was. And here's where, and listen, Housewives is not the place to have these conversations. Just like trying to have a colorism conversation on Potomac. It's not. It's not the forum. Let's be honest. It's not. But if we were to have the conversation, let's have the conversation. There's a difference between racism and prejudice. I'm not saying that I think Adriana is prejudiced either. I mean, it's racist either. But for you to never use that word to describe any of the non-black women, but you use that word to describe a black woman that's showing the same, if not some of the other behavior was worse than the behavior she showed, that shows a prejudice. It does. And the fact that Marisol went out of her way to go tell you, hey, girl, you need to clean this up because it ain't going to play back well, tells me that there's a consciousness that it was a prejudice statement, which is why Adriana went and brought that black lady to that party and to say, look, I have black friends. I'm not racist. So again, let's not pretend like the elephant isn't in the room. The elephant is very much in the room. The statement was a prejudice statement. Do I think that Adriana is racist? I don't know her. I don't know her. I'm not going to just absolve her of being a racist just because she's on a show with black women and she hangs out with black women when she's getting paid to, and she goes over black women's houses when she's getting paid to. I'm not absolving her of that. I don't know her. But what I will say is it was a prejudice statement, and there was a consciousness of the prejudice by the way everybody moved and acted after she said it. That's all I'm going to say. And again, Gertie on the couch backing up Adriana. But you wasn't backing up Adriana when it happened. You felt some kind of way when Adriana said it at that table. Now all of a sudden, she didn't mean it like that. And that's what I was saying, going back to my original statement about this cast, Houston, we got a problem. Because that's not okay. That's not okay. Then we bring up this fucking plane again. First of all, I got to the end of part 3 and I still don't understand why Stephanie got first chair. The only thing I can think of that Stephanie got first chair is that she bribed Andy with a flight in her private jet too. Because why is she in first chair? She brought absolutely nothing to these storylines for her to be first chair. Gertie could have been first chair. Adriana could have been first chair. Julia could have been first chair. The fact that I would have even been okay if it had been Alexia and Lisa as the OGs. But for y'all to have Stephanie as first chair and she literally didn't bring shit to this reunion. She didn't even talk half the time. What the fuck was she in first position? And even though you had the couches separated, anybody on that side of the couch could have been first chair except for Stephanie, and nobody would have been mad. If Lisa had been first chair, nobody would have been mad. If Adriana had been first chair, nobody would have been mad. And damn sure Gertie. So it made no sense why Stephanie, because all she talked about was the plane, the first episode when they did her package, and then this episode when they talked about part 3, when they talked about this damn plane. Listen, Stephanie, you still don't get it. You still don't understand why everybody was upset about this plane. You are still stuck on, you just don't want to follow my rules of being on a private plane. You've never been on a private plane. You don't understand what it's like flying on a private plane. No, they didn't want you to keep throwing it in their face and holding it over their head. Now, I don't agree with with Marisol and Alexia on a lot of shit, but on this one, I was with them 100%. You, absolutely not. You're not going to do a favor for me and then hold it over my head. Not if I can help it, you not. Not if I can fucking help it, you not. Now, Alexia and Marisol, here's my problem. Y'all lied. Y'all sat there and said that y'all didn't try to convince the rest of the ladies not to get on that plane. And everybody on that couch said, yes, you did. Now, both sides of the couch said you did that. Both sides of the couch said you did that. So, y'all ain't have to lie because we were on your side with the Stephanie thing. I'm not even mad that you tried to get the people not to get on the plane. I ain't even mad about that. Because, baby, Stephanie even threw it in Julia's face. Did y'all peep that? Did y'all catch when Stephanie was like, Julia, you wouldn't have even made it to Marisol if it wasn't for me. I did that. I made sure that happened. I mean, not Marisol. Y'all know where the hell they went. I did that. I said, oh, look at Stephanie throwing it in Julia's face about the plane. Did y'all peep that? Stephanie was first chair because Alexia had to be first chair, and that was her conflict for the season. That was stupid. Because I hear what you're saying, but that conflict wasn't even that deep. But I hear what you're saying. Hold on a second, y'all. I'm almost done, but hold on a second. Sorry about that. So, let me see my notes because I'm pretty much done, child. Stephanie Plain, Adriana H, Kiki, Larsa. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had, y'all. Gertie, when they kind of went around at the end, Gertie is coming out with a book. And even with that, Andy was like, "You getting ready to plug your book right now?" Why the fuck shouldn't she? She got a book coming out. She's sitting at the reunion. The season is over. You ain't going to invite her to watch What Happens Live till next season. If she come back next season, she better take this opportunity to plug that damn book. This is the last time she going to probably be, and the rumor is she might not even be coming back. Hell, this is the last time she going to be sitting on a Bravo stage. She better put that book out, plug that book and get us to buy that damn book. Absolutely. And I don't know if it's out or not, but I would say this, you guys, we can support Gertie if the book is out. Y'all do know that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's also Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I believe. But it's definitely, y'all know, everything pink, 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 pink. So if you have a friend, family member, or even just a woman in your life, buy Gertie's book to support Gertie. It's her story, her battle with breast cancer and all of that. So, support the baby. The only other thing that did come up that I wanted to address, they brought up Dr. Nicole saying that a friend of on the show hired a private investigator to follow her around. Now, first of all, Marisol ain't the only friend of the show. So, Andy, you directed that question at Marisol because that's what everybody thought it was Marisol. Why you ain't asked Adriana? But if we rewind the tape back to the first season of the reboot, when they was it the Hamptons? I believe it was when they were in the Hamptons. Dr. Nicole brought that up. Like, that wasn't a secret. That wasn't something we didn't already know. Dr. Nicole literally brought that up. When she said that rumor was that Marisol got all this tea on her because remember, Marisol was the one spreading I heard, and she was whispering the shit so other people would repeat it. So thank you. We had a great time, Ms. Cat. I do have to remember to post those pictures, but we did. We had a really good time. But she said, but Marisol's response was, prove it. Tell her to prove it, or we can go to court or something like that. Marisol, first of all, girl, ain't nobody scared of that. Nobody is scared of you threatening to take somebody to court. Nobody is threatening because when somebody says, well, they said that you did, Chuck, I heard that you hired a private investigator to do background research on me. If Chuck didn't do it, Chuck's natural response is going to be like, what are you talking about? I wouldn't do nothing like that. For your response to be like, prove it or I'll see you in court. Nicole already said it. This isn't new information. If you watched the first season of the reboot, Nicole said it when y'all were in. It came up that season. Now I don't think you confirmed it, but Nicole saying it on her podcast wasn't her dropping tea, which is why I didn't understand why everybody act like it was a big deal. I'm like, they clearly didn't watch the season because she said it. It also came up last season when all that information came up about Adriana's ex-boyfriend or whatever, that she was dating a married guy. It came up then too. Right, and why would Nicole lie? She's not even on the show anymore. Like, why the fuck would she lie? She was on a podcast with Tiffany Moon, and she was talking about her experience on Miami, and she brought it up. But again, it's not a secret to those of us who watched Miami. It wasn't a secret. The last thing that did come up, I do want to kind of address, and then I'm done for real. Right, V. Spencer, that definitely came up already. They brought up the whole situation with Julia's kids, and Andy was trying to explain, like, understand, well, what the hell happened, and it's still sound confusing because she said, well, our daughters knew that we were doing the process, but basically it happened at the last minute. Our home study was getting ready to expire. We got the phone call. She was like, Martina was traveling. I was in Russia with my dad. We got the phone call and we basically had to cancel our travel plans and go pick the boys up and bring them home. So she was like, it wasn't that they didn't know we wanted to adopt. It was that we had to put it on hold because of Martina, cancer. And then when Martina, got cleared, we went through with the process. She said that the oldest daughter has met the boys and they're in a better place. The youngest daughter still hasn't, but they're FaceTiming. Listen, I still don't know what the hell it is. Right, V. Spencer. Y'all know what I say. If it doesn't make sense, it's not true. There is a part of that story you're not telling us, Julia. Now, why you're not telling us, I don't know. But there's clearly a major part of that story that you're not sharing. But it doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it's just not fucking true. That's my philosophy. My philosophy is if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. And this shit don't make no sense. With that being said, it's a wrap on season 6, 7 of the Real Housewives of Miami. I think we're going to see some changes for next season. If Gertie comes back, I feel like they're going to try really, 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 really hard to get Dr. Nicole back. But I feel like Gertie's not coming back. I feel like she's not. I don't know what other shakeups are going to happen, but I definitely got my eye on Gertie. I hope that they can get Dr. Nicole to come back, even if it's just a friend of. Stephanie, if they offer her a contract, Stephanie definitely is coming back. Because at the end, she talked about how this has been the best decision she ever made and how she loves all of the ladies and everybody. And she's built this family. So if they offer her, she's definitely coming back. Alexia coming back because now she ain't got Todd no more, child. She coming back. Marisol, why wouldn't she? If Alexia comes back, she's coming back. Larsa, I don't see them firing Larsa, even though she's like the Giselle of the show. She don't have no damn storyline, but I don't see them firing her. I think Adriana's in trouble. I think Kiki's in trouble, and I think Gertie's in trouble. That's what I think. That doesn't mean that any of them are going to get fired, but I think if any of them get fired, it would be, I think those are the 3 that are in trouble. That's my opinion. Like I said, the panel we're going to do a wrap up next week. So if you want to hear what JB and Ya, and hopefully Leah can join us. She's had a lot going on, been really busy, but hopefully she can join us and we can kind of just do a wrap up next week. Like I told you guys, Reasonable Doubt will be dropping tomorrow morning. Episode 3. I'm literally getting ready to walk out the door as soon as I get off of here. So don't expect too much of anything else until I get back on Sunday. We'll do the Real Housewives of Potomac, and I'll try to get you either Bell Collective or the Braxtons. I'll try to get you one of the 2 on Sunday. I'll try to do a doubleheader on Sunday. Okay. All right, you guys. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.